Transforming potential into performance. So it's what we're always talking about since we started. And so this next one that I want to cover is, this is where a lot of people get hung up, because you're going to have to do some thinking, and you're going to have to figure out what's right for you. And it is really going to be what's right for you and for your situation and for what you feel to be your truth. The one thing that I'm going to say is, though, make sure that you're really clear about where you stand and why you stand there, and what the real opportunities are and your true investment. So a lot of times people struggle when you get to a point where you're at a crossroads. And there's a lot of crossroads too, but you're at a crossroads. There's a fork in the road, which isn't necessarily a crossroads, but like it's usually more of a crossroads than a fork in the road. But let's say you're at a fork in the road, so there's only two decisions. Do you continue down this road with this current opportunity, or you got an option, right? There's an off-ramp, maybe if you're on a highway, and you can take this other opportunity. And it might be a real choice. Now, here's the thing, and I'm going to give you an example, and this is going to maybe be one-sided. But let's say you're in high school and you're only 5 feet tall, and you've been trying to play center. You're a center on your high school basketball team because maybe you're a small school and you get to play there because it's the place where they need you because you're strong. But you're short, but like you're strong so you can get some rebounds and things like that. Are you going to be playing in the NBA at 5 foot as a center? Probably not. That's unlikely unless you own the team. So let's say you've been playing basketball since you were 2 years old. Okay, so you've got 15, if you're 17, you got 15 years invested in that, and thousands of hours. Now let's say that one summer, the summer going into your senior year, you end up doing another sport. Let's say maybe you did a 100-meter sprint, and so you had a really good time in 100 meters, but you never invested any time into it. So it's brand new, okay? Now, if it looks like the potential for growth, like a greater return on investment, is available there versus the center in the basketball, which makes more sense to move forward if you wanted to pursue that in college. Or let's say maybe you had to do that for a job. Like, what would make more sense? Something that you have 15 years of invested energy in, or something that looks like you might have a higher return on investment. So it's understanding too that current investment cost, that energy, that time that you've already put in. However, if you don't have a higher ceiling on that than the other, does it make sense to stay here or to go here? It's a good question. Now here's the other question that you want to throw in there. Could be, let's say it's the other way around. Let's say you're really, really good and you have potential in that area and you've been working on it forever, but now you're getting to the ceiling. You're getting closer to the ceiling, so the pressure increases because at the beginning and at the end of things, there's more pressure. So you get up to that maximum level where there's very few people, but everybody that's there is incredible. So your wins come with more cost. They come with more work. They come with more energy. You're having to try and invest more in order to be successful at that level because it's so far up. Now let's say you start a new skill over here, and immediately, like we know what the acquisition cost is to get proficient at a skill, usually is about 20 hours. So within 20 hours, maybe you start playing the guitar, right? But let's say over here you're a really, really good singer. Or no, let's say you're an artist, okay? So you've got art over here and you got guitar over here. And within 20 hours, people are like, wow, you're pretty good. Okay, you're pretty good. So should you walk away from this in order to go for this? I don't know, right? So in that situation, you have way more invested time over here versus here, not as much. The question though is, is it about comfort that you're going over here because you're going to get some easy wins, as opposed to over here kind of the anti-fragile approach that we just talked about? I don't know. You have to be the one that decides. Are you walking away from something just because it's a little bit uncomfortable? Because at some point you really, really liked it, or it really, really was what you were looking for, or what you were invested in, or whatever. Now all of a sudden, like, you can there's a convenient off-ramp, there's a convenient, this is going to be easier on me road. Is that, though, the road to greatness? You know, are you going to feel more fulfilled, more joyful over here just because it's easier? That's a good question. And you know what? On both of those examples, you have to be the one that sits down and evaluates what you want and what you're committed to and why you're doing it. And be honest with yourself. If you're more interested in comfort over greatness and getting to the highest level, well, I guess that's okay if that's the way, that you value things.